going, everybody? So we have a fun review today as we're talking The Girlfriend. If there's one genre I love seeking out hidden gems for besides horror, of course, it's definitely steamy psychological thrillers. Now, whether or not a lot of people are aware of The Girlfriend coming out very soon on Prime Video, regardless, my interest certainly was piqued. I mean, how do you go wrong with Olivia Cooke clashing with Wright over her character's son's affection? One of the major bright sides to The Girlfriend, lots of the twists and turns that unfold along Olivia Cooke and Wright's many clashes, they would absolutely be described as messy in a complimentary way. Both of them really commit to the catty, superficial nature of the chaos from the moment Cherry enters the picture. The Girlfriend really wastes no time getting you intrigued in all of the drama. Whether Laura's just overbearing the longer she's forced to interact with Cherry because she keeps finding her way to tag along in all of their different events, or on the flip side, Cherry might just actually have a dark side after all. A detail not highlighted too much in the marketing is the idea that every episode you see the perspective of the story from both Laura's perspective and also Cherry's. Not only to give you a full scope of every single event that you see transpire, but occasionally, depending on the perspective that you're viewing in the episode, some of the events may play out a little bit differently. The tone may be a bit more hostile, lines may change, something that one of them is accused of doing you see being played out in the other person's perspective if they did it or not. Best of all, most of the time they leave you on a pretty good cliffhanger. When I initially first started watching these screeners, I figured, I would check out an episode or two, seeing how interested I was, and take it from there. But then they pull you in. Episode 1 ends on a pretty good cliffhanger, and then episode 2, and then the next thing you know, I'm just binge watching all 6 episodes. I'm not entirely sure if this is a character archetype that Wright seeks out herself. I mean, she is an executive producer and a director on this, but these style of roles, in my opinion, really suit Wright. While her role as Laura isn't as tantalizing as Olivia Cooke's role, Wright excels capturing a mother who feels threatened by the idea of someone who, in her eyes, is not worthy of her son's love, affection, and also money in this case, since they're very rich and Cherry isn't, so that adds to the power dynamics at play once she eventually tries to start prying into Cherry's life, trying to dissect who she really is under this facade that she puts on in front of them. In doing so, that adds to a lot of the entertainment value once Laura starts going a bit crazy, trying to out Cherry as a bad girlfriend. We ride the slippery slope of the narrative, because arguably Laura gets just as bad, if not worse, than Cherry. Some of the lengths that she goes to try and separate Cherry and Daniel in the show, particularly one big twist around the midpoint of the season, arguably one of the most revolting things you could do to try and break up a couple. Those messy conflicts at play between Cherry and Laura, those elements are at its greatest when the masks fall off and there's a battle over who's the most cunning. Speaking on Cherry, Olivia Cooke was just born to play a role of this caliber. Cherry is the ultimate alluring, toxic partner. She's hilarious, she says all of the right things it feels like, she's strikingly beautiful, and this show makes perfect usage of putting Olivia Cooke in these amazing outfits every episode. The real factor that makes Cooke's nuanced performance so intoxicating is the deeper the story goes, they peel back the layers of Cherry as a character, unraveling bits and pieces to her to showcase, she is kind of unhinged at times. Even when she's supposed to be a borderline psychotic girlfriend, there's an alluring charm she exudes that despite her many scary qualities, lying about so many different things, the extent of the rage she showcases when she doesn't get exactly what she wants, or she's kept from something she wants, despite all of that, you still manage to like her, despite all of the chaos she brings into Laura's life. The dueling perspectives of the narrative do add some interesting nuances to their conflict when it comes to her ambition. Every so often you do kind of question if she actually does have feelings for Daniel or she just wants to stick around for the lifestyle perks, and that's the reason why she goes to the lengths that she will to stay in Daniel's life alongside Laura making the same effort to get her away from him. With an objective lens, honestly, neither of these two characters are good. I'm not entirely sure if that's meant to be the right takeaway from everything that unfolds, and I'm just supposed to enjoy the ride and watch them destroy each other's lives. Occasionally, I wondered if Cooke being so likable is to the show's detriment, since she's certainly crazy, but it didn't seem like the series desired to paint her in too much of a negative light, even when she does decide to do some questionable things throughout the 6 episodes. Most of the time, what frustrated me the most was Daniel as a character. He is written to be so completely naive to everything that's going on around him. Listen, if I'm Daniel and I have a mildly psychotic Olivia Cooke as my girlfriend that's head over heels for me, I would definitely try and ignore some red flags here and there. Unfortunately for the majority of this story to to work, however, he is forced to ignore a completely unrealistic amount of details. He also clearly has mommy issues thanks to Laura being uber controlling in his life, which mostly seems to get glossed over in the narrative. We don't really touch upon that part too much. You get a wink and nod that you feel like that eventually would come back around since there's weird, oddly framed moments between them. Early on, Daniel says that Cherry reminds him a lot of his mother. From the very beginning of the story, it makes it clear, clues pieced together across the season, a resolution to the conflict between Laura and Cherry is inevitable and more than likely will take a dark turn. Though I didn't hate the overall conclusion as a whole, there are a few bits of it that did leave me feeling a little bit underwhelmed, especially given the steady ramp up of intensity and destructive behavior each of them exhibit, ruining one another's lives. The direction the series decides to go in for the finale, it comes across more flat and predictable than I was anticipating. Obviously, I'm not going to spoil the ending for anyone, but I did go back and look at the book's ending because this is based off a book after all, and I want to apologize initially to the book fans out there about the ending because it is completely different. All in all, The Girlfriend certainly has enticing qualities for anyone craving a thriller with messy twists and turns in it. Both Olivia Cooke and Wright make an exceptional effort with their performances to make this face-off exciting, but I do feel like the story by and large is missing a handful of ingredients where it doesn't completely stick the landing, but it's certainly entertaining and watchable, and like I said, it's 6 episodes, it's a very easy binge. Just be forewarned that the book ending and the show ending are vastly different. I mean, if you like the book ending, that might disappoint you. If you didn't like the book ending, you might like this new ending more. Either way, thank you guys. As always, check out videos. I always do appreciate it. Once you get a chance to check out The Girlfriend on Prime Video, share your thoughts down below. Make sure you like on the video and also subscribe to the channel to update reviews, reactions, unboxings, and more. Until the next time, I'll see you guys later.